A miracle tried to reach you yesterday, but something blocked it. This is your final chance to receive what's yours. Yesterday, the heavens opened a portal meant just for you. It was a quiet hour, perhaps just as you were falling asleep, or maybe while your mind wandered toward worry. And in that sacred moment, the miracle meant for your hands began its descent. It was not ordinary. It was orchestrated. This miracle wasn't random. It was specific. It had your name etched across its spiritual seal. It carried the weight of prayers whispered, of tears shed behind closed doors, of nights where you begged heaven for just one sign that you had not been forgotten. And heaven answered. Archangel Michael bore witness to this divine release. But as it neared you, something shifted. Something tried to intercept the gift. Something saw the light before you did and moved in shadow to block it. There are forces that do not want you to rise. They sense the turning of your season before you even step into it. They detect your elevation in realms unseen. Yesterday, something tried to delay what was rightfully yours, not deny it, but delay it. You must understand, delay is the oldest tactic of the adversary. If it cannot destroy your blessing, it will try to postpone it until you lose faith. But Archangel Michael speaks now through the atmosphere, piercing through time, piercing through interference, declaring that you have one final window. A miracle still hovers. A blessing still waits. It was never canceled, only pause. And now, it needs your full alignment, your full attention, your full surrender. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Archangel Michael speaks. A miracle was dispatched. It came with the speed of divine light, the precision of angelic timing, and the authority of heaven's voice. It carried a vibration so powerful that every dark force in proximity trembled. But as it approached you, right as it hovered above your life, there was resistance. Something from your environment, your past, or your inner doubt rose up and blocked what was meant to arrive. This is not a punishment. It is a warning. There is still time, but the time is short. You have 24 hours to respond with obedience, with faith, with readiness. You cannot afford hesitation now. This is not just another spiritual message. This is your alert, your alarm, your angelic interruption. This is the Holy Spirit shaking you by the shoulders and saying, "Wake up. It was yours. It still is. But you must move now. There is a portal still open. You must not let it close with your name still on the ledger of unanswered miracles. Something, someone, is trying to keep you in a holding pattern. You felt it yesterday. A heaviness, a strange distraction, an emotion you couldn't quite explain. That was not coincidence. That was interference. A miracle was in the air, and the atmosphere around you shifted. But what blocked it isn't greater than what sent it. Archangel Michael has returned to clear the space, to reclaim the blessing, to reignite the mission. But you must meet heaven halfway. Your belief is the bridge. Your obedience is the gate. Your faith is the magnet. Do not sleep through this hour. Do not scroll past this message. This is your final invitation to rise in alignment. To catch what tried to reach you. It called back what was paused. Your destiny was not denied. It was only tested. And now, it is knocking again. Type "ITChem" ready in the comments below if you receive this word. Blessing code 777 is now unlocking what was paused. Something or someone saw the miracle trying to reach you. They may not have known what it was exactly, but they felt its weight. They sensed your shift. They perceived your moment of ascension beginning to approach, and it unsettled them. Their spirit recognized what your mind had not yet processed. A breakthrough was in motion, and because they couldn't explain it, they moved against it. I didn't need to understand it to fear it. They didn't need to know your name was written on that miracle to sense it was something divine. What they saw, what they felt, what they feared, was your rising light. A light you weren't even fully aware you were carrying. A glow you earned through battles they never saw. You were quiet, but your spirit was loud. You were still, but your energy was speaking. And so, they moved, not out of hatred, but out of fear. Archangel Michael whispers now, there was a conversation. It happened in private. It happened behind closed doors. It happened with subtle tones and sideways glances. Someone misread your silence. Someone misunderstood your distance. Someone took your stillness as weakness. They mistook your sacred separation for shame. But you were never hiding. You were healing. You were disappearing. You were discerning. And in your quiet, your power grew. That power created disruption in the ones still trapped in cycles of comparison, jealousy, and spiritual blindness. Your miracle, sent by the heavens, illuminated their shadows, and they responded the only way unhealed spirits know how, by attempting to block what wasn't theirs to begin with. The interference wasn't random. It was targeted. It was strategic. But it wasn't stronger. That's the truth. Their whispers, their misunderstandings, their manipulations, all of it is noise. And noise only has power when it distracts you from the voice. You see, in the spiritual realm, silence is often louder than words. Your silence has been echoing through realms, and they felt the sound waves. They felt your preparation. They saw the blow before you did, and in their confusion, they tried to interrupt what was not assigned to them. But hear this now, they only intercepted a fragment. They only delayed a portion. They could not access the full vision. The seal was not broken. The document was not voided. The miracle still belongs to you. You need to understand this deeply. The enemy is not always someone outside. Sometimes it is doubt. Sometimes it is old versions of yourself trying to rise and argue with your faith. Sometimes it is the voice of fear speaking louder than the whisper of God. Yesterday, something tried to use familiarity to block your expansion. Someone who once knew an older version of you tried to speak limitation into a season they do not qualify for. But Archangel Michael speaks through this moment to say, they don't know you now. They are speaking on a version that no longer exists. They are gossiping about a chapter that has already closed. And still, the heavens have not changed their mind about you. What was sent is still in orbit. What was delayed is circling back. But this time, you must be fully awake. You must stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You must protect your atmosphere like it carries gold, because it does. Your silence has already revealed their intentions. Now let your movement reveal your elevation. You are not required to correct lies. You are only required to live the truth. A miracle that was blocked yesterday still waits for your agreement today. But it cannot land in chaos. It cannot descend into confusion. And so, the divine waits for your signal, your alignment, your yes. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. This was never just about you. Not in the way the world thinks. What happened yesterday wasn't simply an external setback. It was a spiritual resistance to your divine assignment. Archangel Michael declares from the heavenly realms, this is not a coincidence. not a random misalignment, and not a small misunderstanding. This is warfare. What tried to block your miracle wasn't a person. It wasn't just timing. It was a shadow sent to challenge your light. This isn't personal. This is spiritual. The moment you stepped into a new level of surrender, a new level of clarity, a new level of purity, forces aligned against you. Not because of who you were, but because of who you are becoming. You've been chosen. You've been marked. You've been hidden for a time such as this. But that miracle that was headed your way, it wasn't just a gift. It was a divine confirmation that your destiny is unfolding right on schedule. And the moment that miracle was released, it triggered resistance. Because that's what always happens when heaven moves. When divine favor enters the atmosphere, darkness panics. Your miracle wasn't just a blessing. It was a signal. It let the atmosphere know that your dry season is ending. It let the unseen world know that something sacred was about to touch down in your life. That's why the interference came with such intensity. That's why confusion tried to creep in. That's why people you never expected began acting strangely. You were not imagining it. The shift was real, and so was the resistance. But here's what most do not understand. Spiritual resistance is proof that something valuable is being protected. Shadows do not chase emptiness. Energies do not collide with irrelevance. What you carry is rare. What you're becoming is disruptive to fear, to generational curses, to spiritual laziness, to every voice that said you couldn't rise beyond what was familiar. That miracle was never just about a breakthrough in the natural. It was an announcement in the spirit. It was heaven declaring, this one is ready. This one is worthy. This one is called. And so, the opposition came, not to destroy you, but to distract you. Because that's the strategy. If the enemy cannot stop your miracle, it will attempt to pull your focus from receiving it. That's why you felt that tension yesterday. That's why your heart was uneasy. That's why you felt tired for no reason. Something was pulling at your frequency, trying to lower your vibration before the miracle touched down. But you must remember, Archangel Michael stands with you. The armies of light are not just observing this battle, they are engaging on your behalf. Divine protection surrounds you even now. The gates of heaven have not been closed. Your miracle is not lost. But heaven is watching to see your response. Will you rise? Will you believe beyond what your eyes can see? Will you step into the full understanding that this is not about what they said, or what was delayed, or who misunderstood you? This is about your assignment. And assignments come with tests. You've passed the silence test. You've passed the endurance test. Now, the final test is alignment. Will you say yes even while you still feel uncertain? Will you trust even though it was blocked once before? The conflict wasn't against your name, it was against your calling. And you are still called. You are still marked. You are still destined. No delay can erase what has been written in heaven's ink. Archangel Michael reminds you now, you are protected not just for who you are, but for who you're becoming. Walk forward. The miracle is circling again. This time, be ready to catch it. Type I am anointed in the comments. Lesson code 444 is covering you with divine clarity and favor. The atmosphere is still shifting. Archangel Michael speaks now with urgency. What delayed the miracle is not finished yet. The interference may have paused, but it has not completely left. There is still movement in the shadows. Someone is preparing a conversation. Someone is rehearsing what they will say. Someone is trying to manipulate the moment to keep you from aligning with what heaven has already released. Your words may sound innocent. Their tone may seem calm, but their intention is rooted in fear. Fear of your elevation, fear of your clarity, fear of losing their access to a version of you that no longer exists. They may reach out. They may text you. They may call. They may show up online, or even in person, under the illusion of reconciliation. But Archangel Michael wants you to see beneath the veil. Look beyond the surface. Feel the frequency. Discern the motive. Because this confrontation may not come in the form of a fight. It may come in the form of a conversation that drains your energy, clouds your judgment, or plants a subtle seed of self-doubt. That seed is not harmless. It is strategic. And if you let it grow, it will pull you out of alignment just long enough to miss what was meant to land. You see, the miracle is circling. It's almost here again. But this is your final window, your divine moment of decision. The next 12 hours matter. The way you respond, the way you hold your posture, the way you protect your peace, it all matters. You cannot afford to get entangled in old narratives. You cannot afford to entertain people who only reach out when your spirit is rising. Archangel Michael warns, they will speak as if they've changed, but watch their patterns, not their words. They may cloak manipulation in kindness. They may mask spiritual resistance with emotional language. But you must rise above it. You must choose alignment over attachment. You must walk in discernment over comfort. The elevation you've prayed for requires you to stop revisiting places God already pulled you from. There is a tactic being used right now. It's called spiritual projection. It's when someone tries to place their confusion on your clarity. It's when someone who has not healed tries to make you question the healing you've earned. Do not allow it. Your peace is not up for debate. Your alignment is not up for negotiation. Archangel Michael reminds you now, when God is about to release something major, the enemy sends a distraction. But not all distractions are loud. Some are soft. Some come wrapped in nostalgia. Some come from voices you once trusted. But make no mistake, if it costs your clarity, it's not sent from heaven. This is your warning. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because you will be tested again before the miracle lands. The block may try to come in a different form this time. But now you're aware. Now you're armed. Now you're aligned. Remember who you are. Remember what was almost intercepted. Remember that you are standing in the final stretch before divine delivery. Guard your atmosphere like the miracle depends on it, because it does. This is your final chance to receive what's already yours. Don't let old distractions steal a new blessing. Type ISE clearly in the comments if you're ready to reject distraction. Blessing code 888 is opening protection gates over your path. Archangel Michael speaks again, not with fear, but with fierce love. This is your moment to protect your peace like it is sacred ground, because it is. This is the hour where stillness becomes strategy, where silence becomes warfare, and where obedience becomes the weapon that wins battles words cannot. You are being invited into a divine stillness, not to freeze, not to retreat, but to stand firm in the eye of the storm with unwavering alignment. What is required of you now is not noise, not explanations, not reactions, but posture. You must stand in your knowing. You must anchor yourself in the truth that heaven saw what tried to block your miracle and has already deployed reinforcements. This is your hour to stay grounded. This is your hour to remember that power is not always loud. Sometimes, power is quiet, unshaken, immovable, and clear. When the attack comes, and yes, it may still try to come, it will aim not at your outer life, but at your inner clarity. That's the target. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your environment if it can disrupt your discernment. That's why your thoughts may have felt clouded recently. That's why you may have felt the temptation to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to justify your actions to those who never saw your value. But hear this clearly. Do not explain yourself. Not now. Not when you are so close. Heaven does not require you to plead your case. Your assignment is not up for community vote. You do not need anyone's validation to stand in what has already been written. Do not cast your pearls before those who trample truth with confusion. Your peace is precious. Protected. Let your silence speak. Let your stillness thunder through the atmosphere. Let your posture echo the authority that Archangel Michael now reminds you of. You are covered. You are guided. You are not alone. Do not lower your frequency to meet someone in the valley of their ego. Stay elevated. Stay connected. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them misread you. A miracle was never meant for them to understand. It was meant for you to receive. But it cannot enter a heart consumed with defense. It can only land in a space of surrender. So surrender, not to fear, not to people, not to the pressure, but to the divine timing that is unfolding even now. You are not being asked to do everything. You are being asked to do one thing. Stay in alignment. That's it. Stay in your assignment. Stay in your sacred rhythm. Stay in your yes. Every distraction you ignore, every unspoken defense you lay down, every ounce of peace you protect, it is part of the signal being sent to heaven. A signal that says, I'm ready. I'm not who I was. I know who I am. Let it come. And when that signal is clear, what was delayed must come forth. What was blocked must break through. What was hidden must now appear. Heaven is not asking you to fight this battle with your hands. Heaven is asking you to hold position. The sword has already been drawn. The angels are already moving. Let your calm be your confirmation. Let your quiet be your crown. Let your discernment be your direction. Do not try to fix what heaven is already shifting. You are not responsible for their misunderstanding. You are responsible for your miracle. Let God fight for you. Let grace go ahead of you. Let the light clear what your eyes cannot see. Stay grounded. Stay holy. Stay ready. Type "My stillness is my shield" in the comments to anchor your peace. Blessing code 1212 is establishing divine protection around your name. Now is the moment where everything changes. The war that erupted around your miracle was not to destroy you. It was to reveal you. Archangel Michael declares this plainly now. What was meant to break you has only uncovered what they never truly saw. They knew the version of you that doubted, that explained, that delayed your calling for the comfort of others. They knew the version of you that silenced your own voice just to keep the peace, even when it cost you your purpose. But they didn't know this version. They didn't know the one heaven was forming in the fire. They didn't see the divine metamorphosis taking place in your silence. They didn't recognize the new armor being fitted to your frame. But now, it is visible. Now, it is rising. Now, it is undeniable. You are not who you were. Say that again. You are not who you were. The miracle that tried to reach you yesterday was not assigned to the version of you that people manipulated, tolerated, or ignored. It was assigned to the transformed you, the awakened you. The version of you who stopped chasing, stopped explaining, stopped proving. The version of you who understands now that alignment is worth more than approval, and destiny is louder than validation. Archangel Michael says you are walking into divine territory, and no weapon formed against you, not in word, not in energy, not in manipulation, can prosper. What tried to block you can no longer stop you, because what is within you has fully awakened. This is not just empowerment. This is reclamation. This is you reclaiming your time, reclaiming your energy, reclaiming your identity. This is you rising from what was meant to hold you down and realizing that everything that was sent to break you was actually used to build you. They thought they buried you, but you were a seed, and now you're sprouting beyond the boundaries of their expectations. You were not made to be understood, you were made to be called, and that calling is louder now than the noise around you. The storm that swirled when your miracle approached. It was never meant to drown you. It was meant to reveal you. This is where the shift begins. Where the why me becomes thank God it was me. Because now you understand. You were trusted with this test not because you were weak, but because you were worthy. Worthy of carrying light into shadowed spaces. Worthy of receiving what others tried to claim. Worthy of rising above the frequency of fear and into the vibration of destiny. They cannot touch what God has sealed. They cannot reverse what heaven has released. They cannot cancel what was already written in your name before the foundation of time. And so now, walk with your head lifted, your soul focused, your heart clean. You do not need to shrink to make others comfortable. You do not need to water down your gift to blend in with noise. Let the elevation be loud. Let the light be bright. Let the glory be seen. This miracle is not just about the blessing. It's about your becoming. It's about walking through the delay with dignity. It's about standing in the aftershock of what was blocked and still declaring, I am rising. Out of the ashes you rise. Out of confusion, you rise. Out of rejection, you rise. You are no longer waiting. You are becoming. And what's becoming can't be stopped. The light is too strong. The seal is too divine. The shift is irreversible. Type I am rising in the comments to activate your next level. Blessing code 555 is unlocking divine upgrades over your identity. The atmosphere is different now. Can you feel it? It's softer, but charged. Calmer, but commanding. You've crossed the threshold. You're no longer in waiting. You're in receiving. Archangel Michael declares from the highest courts of heaven, the interference has been cleared. The atmosphere is now aligning, and your spirit is being calibrated for the final release. You were tested, but you passed. You were pressed, but you did not fold. You were delayed, but you stayed in position. And now, because of your obedience, because of your posture, because of your refusal to give in to noise, the miracle is returning. The blessing is back in orbit. It is circling, descending, ready to locate the version of you that is now in full alignment. This is the divine resolution of what seemed like spiritual warfare. This is where heaven shows its hand and silences every other voice. What was blocked is now breaking through. What was held up is now being delivered. What was paused is now flowing again. And it's coming differently this time. Before, it came quietly, subtly, unexpected. But now, it will come undeniably. It will arrive in ways that even your enemies must admit were orchestrated by a higher power. Someone is going to come forward, not just with clarity, but with confirmation, with an apology, with a truth that validates what your spirit already knew, with an action that proves the divine was working all along. What seemed hidden is about to be revealed, not for your pride, but for your peace. Because some of the peace doesn't come through self, it comes through truth. and truth is being delivered. You must prepare now, not just to be restored, but to be revealed. You are walking into a season where your reward is public because your suffering was silent. And heaven keeps receipts. Every tear you shed behind closed doors, every prayer you whispered when no one saw, every sacrifice you made when it would have been easier to quit, it has been recorded. And now, the miracle is the reply. Your release is the response. Divine favor is not a myth, it is motion. It is movement. It is what heaven releases when obedience meets timing. And that's where you are now. Obedience met timing. Heaven met alignment. Your name met its moment. This transformation won't just be seen in a natural. It will be felt in your spirit. Your energy will shift. Your posture will shift. Your dreams will deepen. Your authority will increase. People will look at you and not recognize you. And that's how you'll know it's working. That's how you'll know the shift was real. Because you'll no longer be accessible at the same level. Not out of pain, but out of purpose. The new version of you can't afford to operate at frequencies that don't match the weight of what you now carry. You were always meant to walk in power, but now you finally understand how to wear it. Archangel Michael affirms, this was your final test. And you passed. Now begins the unveiling. Now begins the breakthrough. Now begins the season that was delayed but not denied. Miracles are returning to your life like waves, one after another, after another. This time, there will be no more blocks, no more resistance, no more warfare. Just clarity, peace, and divine flow. Breathe it in. Believe it. Declare it. The spiritual embargo has been lifted. The portal is open. The light is here. And it is yours. Walk boldly now. Heaven has spoken. The miracle is no longer on its way. It has arrived. Type "the miracle is mine" in the comments. Blessing code 1010 is releasing waves of restoration into your atmosphere. This is not the time to be passive. This is not the moment to be silent. Archangel Michael says with heavenly fire, your agreement is the activation. You are standing at the edge of a breakthrough that was paused only temporarily, because heaven needed to know you were ready. Now that the resistance has been revealed, now that the clarity has come, it's your turn to respond. This miracle cannot fully land unless you declare your agreement in the atmosphere. Faith is not silent. It speaks. It moves. It responds. And in this hour, you must respond. You must open your mouth. You must take spiritual action. You must step into the alignment that proves to the realms above and below, I am ready. I agree. I receive. Declare it now, out loud, in your heart and in the atmosphere around you. Say it so your fears hear it. Say it so your doubts flee. Say it so your past cannot argue with your future. Say it until your environment shifts and your spirit matches heaven's frequency. Because when heaven sees that you are not just waiting for blessings, but willing to partner with a blessing, miracles move faster. Delays break down. Resistance crumbles. Portals open. The universe responds to obedience. The kingdom responds to faith. And the angels are watching for your signal. Archangel Michael reminds you, you are not weak. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. But heaven waits for your agreement to bring what was withheld into full release. Do not scroll away from this moment thinking it's just another message. This isn't just inspiration. It is instruction. This is not poetic, it is prophetic. You are being given one final chance, not because God wants to threaten you, but because heaven wants to elevate you. This is your sacred moment. A moment to speak life into what almost slipped through your fingers. A moment to plant a declaration so deep in the soil of faith that no storm can uproot it. Say it now, the miracle is mine. Say it again until the gates open wide and what was circling finds its way home. Declare it and do not doubt it. Affirm it and do not fear it. This is not a fantasy. This is your fulfillment. You must understand, when you type, when you declare, when you say amen, it's not just words, it's spiritual currency. You are signaling to the heavens that you are no longer asleep, no longer doubting, no longer stuck in survival. You are in alignment. And aligned souls are powerful. Aligned souls are magnetic. Aligned souls receive what others miss. Don't just hear this word, become it. Let your spirit respond with faith. Let your body posture in expectation. Let your words shape the next dimension of your journey. And if this message has spoken to your heart, if it found you in the exact moment you needed it, and you feel called to support the voice that delivered it, consider sowing into this frequency. Your support helps us bring more messages like this to those who need it most. If this word moved you, you can say thank you with a super thanks of up to $20. Your seed, your share, your shout, it all matters. You are not just watching. You are participating in the divine. Now, step into it. Say it. Type it. Live it. Type I align with heaven in the comments to fully receive. Blessing code 2020 is initiating complete alignment and manifestation of the miracle. And now, the final word is being sealed, not in fear but in power. Archangel Michael stands before you, not as a distant figure in the heavens, but as a divine protector who has walked beside you in silence, through every delay, through every block, through every unseen war you didn't know you were winning simply by enduring. He says, you are not a victim. You are the revelation. You are not the aftermath of spiritual attacks. You are the proof that light always wins. You are not waiting for a miracle to define you. You are becoming the miracle that shifts entire atmospheres. And what was meant for harm yesterday is now becoming the platform for your elevation today. You must understand this, not just with your ears, but with your soul. This entire journey wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The pause wasn't rejection, it was refinement. The blockage wasn't failure, it was filtering. Heaven needed to make sure that when the miracle came, you were ready to carry it with reverence, not restlessness. Ready to protect it, not question it. Ready to use it to bless others, not to seek validation. And now, you've been tested in silence. You've been trusted with disappointment. And yet, here you are, still watching, still listening, still believing. That makes you dangerous to darkness. That makes you unshakable in the spirit. That makes you chosen. Let this be the final decree. You are no longer in a season of surviving. You are in a season of arrival. The gates are open. The miracle is no longer blocked. The timing is no longer tangled. The warfare has lost its grip. What's meant for you now rushes to you with urgency, with divine accuracy, and with favor wrapped in light. Do not be surprised when the things that once delayed you begin to bow before you. Do not be surprised when people who once overlooked you suddenly speak your name with awe. Do not be surprised when answers start showing up, doors begin unlocking, and peace becomes your new normal. This is not random. This is not luck. This is not just a good season. This is divine order finally catching up to your obedience. Archangel Michael says, let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them misjudge what they could never carry. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not owe them access. You owe yourself the miracle. You owe yourself the reward of staying faithful when no one clapped, when no one checked in, when no one saw the weight of the battles you fought in silence. Heaven saw, and heaven has answered. The light that surrounds you now is not just protection, it is promotion. The delay is over. The waiting is done. The final chance has become the first day of your miracle's manifestation. So walk forward, not with fear, but with fight. Stand tall, not with ego, but with evidence. Move quietly, but carry the weight of what you survived as your authority. Let no voice, no shadow, no lingering fear try to convince you that this was a coincidence. No, this was confirmation. Heaven interrupted your timeline to bring this word at the perfect moment. And now, it is done. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are right on time. Type "I am the revelation" in the comments if this word has sealed something deep within you. Blessing code 000 is covering you in wholeness, favor, and forward movement. And if this message became a mirror for your spirit, if it found you at the perfect moment, your support helps us bring these divine words to even more souls in need. Consider giving a super thanks of up to $20. Your generosity creates more light in the world, and for that we are deeply grateful. Now rise. What tried to block you yesterday has no authority over your tomorrow. Let the miracle come. Let the world watch. Let you shine.